check.
Microphone check. Can everyone hear me? Does the mic, camera sound good?
Hello, everybody. All right, whether or not you're ready, we're going to start a comedy improvised game show that's loosely Easter themed. Yes, thank you for the enthusiasm from that corner. So the way this works is an interactive game show between the contestants and you, the audience. All of our contestants are stand-up comedians. So after the game show, they're going to do a little bit of stand-up for you. But how this works is I'm going to ask them some questions, and they're going to come up with the answers on the spot. They don't know any of the questions ahead of time. They're just going to make it up as they feel led. Between rounds, you, the audience, are going to have a say on who you think is the most funny, and you're going to do a vote and keep those people. The rounds are going to whittle down and whittle down and whittle down until we have 2 people left going head-to-head in a showdown. Yes. The winner is going to get a lovely Easter basket and be able to conceive a child because it's Easter. And the losers will all be ritualistically sacrificed to a pagan god. All right. I'm one of your hosts, the May Queen, and this is my co-host.
My name is Jehovah Cornfed, proprietor of Cornfed Hair Farms. I'm here representing the fine hair industry. There will be no talk of bunnies and rabbits. These are commoner terms. I represent the hair farm, and just letting you folks know, this is the busiest week for our petting zoo at Cornfed Farms. Next week we will have excellent deals at our butcher's shop, so swing on by, have some hair.
All right, let's meet our contestants then, shall we? So, contestants, could you please tell us who you are, what you're doing here, and why you should be the person to conceive a child by the end of the night? Why should your genes be passed on? What do we gain from that in the world? Woo!
So I'm Bobby B from Boston. What else did you want me to say?
Why are you here?
I don't know how I got here. I just kind of woke up in the corner over there. Why should I be allowed to...
Why should your genes get passed on?
Why should my genes get passed on? Well, because I'm from Boston.
All right, name's Nicky Delicious. I'm a featherweight bouncer down at America's favorite family restaurant, Muchachos. I'm here under court order. I got caught rooting around in someone's garden. Judge said I had to do comedy services. And my genes need to be passed on because I can projectile vomit into a spittoon. It's genetic.
We don't want that to die out in the world.
Howdy, everybody. Good to see you. My name's Clark. Very happy to be here. Hi, Raise, please. I'm here on a mission. I'm here on a mission. A lot of heretics in this town. A lot of heathens. And I think my genes should be passed on because I have done a lot of drugs in my day and I'm still alive. Thank you. Thank you. Hallelujah at your boy.
Hey, my name's Esther. I'm Jesus' Jewish sister. I'm the one you never heard about because the Bible was written by a bunch of homophobic men. I'm here to set the record straight, and I think my genes should be passed on because I'm the real kid of Joseph and Mary. You know, if you believe that immaculate conception shit. Okay.
Oi! How are we doing tonight? You good? My name is Haggis Bunts and Beans. I'm here because I want to get fucked up for Christ's coming, you know. Why my genes should be passed on? Because these are my grandfather's genes. Thank you.
Yeah, my friends just call me Shifty Pete. I'm here. I'm just trying to sell some flowers. If you know, I'm trying to get $5 to get to Espanola. If anybody, you guys on a date, you need $10 for a flower. It's all right. And my genes should be passed on because I'm not the first person to warn them.
Hi, I'm Petey Peterson. I'm the friendliest representative of the Florida State Department of Tourism. And I'm here because Florida's been in the news for a little bit of bad stuff. And I'm here to change the narrative. I don't think my genes should be passed on. I'm ashamed. Thank you.
Contestants, all right, Pete's and other folks. So 2 Pete's in there. All right, so your first question, we all know, or most of us know, Jesus' better known miracles that got recorded in the Bible, but we're going to ask you about some of his lesser known miracles that weren't recorded. So, my first contestant, Bobby B. We all know about the bread and the fish, how he made a bunch of bread and fish out of a couple bread and fish, something like that. I don't know if that's right. Accurate. Yep. Can you tell us the lesser known miracle involving food?
I'm not really sure about a miracle concerning food, but one thing that Jesus did was he got Ben Affleck in the Marvel universe and the DC universe, and that's truly an act of God. Only he deserved it.
Here comes with eye candy. Yes. All right. All right. We all know about the virgin birth. Can you please tell us the lesser known miracle in Jesus' family?
It was Slow Jimmy. That was the big miracle. Nobody ever thought he'd make it past elementary school and learn to read. He always said, be more like your brother Jesus, slow Jimmy. Why don't you get on a cross and learn something? But anyway, he's still alive and well today.
Very close, Jimmy. All right. We all know that Jesus walked on water / calmed the storm. Can you tell us the other lesser-known miracle involving the weather?
Well, from what I remember in my baptism school, he once made it rain horseflies, which is very confusing. Because horses don't normally fly, but down south they're really big, and you can hear them galloping towards the flies, that is. So it was a miracle that he made them rain the flies because they were already in the air. And I don't know how he made them fall. Thank you.
All right, Jesus' supposed sister. We all know that he healed diseases, but can you tell us the lesser known miracle involving sickness?
Okay, first off, guys, he was not a messiah. There were no miracles, all right? That whole shit about where he turned water to wine. I really just switched out the keg so everybody could keep having a good time at the party. And the whole, like, walking on water thing, he was just borrowing my stilts. So, yeah, we can just, this whole miracle thing is kind of mute if you ask me.
Evading the question, I see. Interesting. Good tactic. All right, sir. We know that Jesus could exorcise demons, but what was his lesser-known miracle regarding evil?
Oi! Diseases. So the last miracle that I remember, my grandpa told me a long time ago, that the lesser known miracle that he did was exorcising demons, was actually exercising his abs. He was the first person to create CrossFit, and I think that's amazing. Thank you.
Excellent punnery. Now, Mr. Shifty Pete, we all know that Jesus could turn water into wine, but what are his lesser-known miracles involving alcohol, would you say?
Oh man, one time I was under a bridge with Jesus, right? And we didn't have nothing to drink. So like he got mouthwash and he just put it through a coffee filter, and like all of a sudden we had something to drink. It's a miracle, man.
That sounds miraculous. Now, the good stuff from Florida, we all know Jesus ascended into the heavens, but what were his lesser-known miracles involving levitation?
I have never partaken, but my understanding from the locals is that one levitates one on bath salts. That's one of the many delicacies from Fort Lauderdale to St. Augustine. Something to check out on any one of your visits. Again, I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry about everything. Thank you.
All right, moving along. So Easter is all about torture. The Romans were really good at finding creative ways to execute people because 1 hour just wasn't enough. So I'm going to give you a very common mundane object, and you're going to tell me how you would either torture or execute someone with it. We're having fun, right? We're having fun. We're all friends. All right. Rubber bands.
You sit in traffic and you yacht for hours and hours, and you take the rubber band, you put it around your neck, and you just let it choke the life out of you.
A yoga mat.
Yoga mat, easy. You torture someone by taking them to yoga. You make them do yoga. It's terrible. Have you tried it? Easy.
Forks.
Okay, I know this one. I have experience in sports. Okay. See, what you do is you slowly slide it down like the back, just along the spine, right? It creates a lot of stimuli coming up and down the back. And then when you have them bent up, what was the question again? Torture or execute? Let me change. Okay, different story. Torture or execute? Well, the spork is really good for spooning out the eyes or sporking it. I do that to the heathens. That way, the only thing they can see is Christ. Thank you.
Legos.
Yeah, the best way to use Legos is to just scatter them all over the floor and pull out the lights so nobody can see. And then just watch everybody fall over. It's great. But when that doesn't work, the best thing to do is just kill with kindness. Jesus was really good at this to the point where it was super annoying. That's what he would do.
How would you torture and or kill someone with mayonnaise?
Oi! I remember a long time ago, my grandpa, what he used to do, he used to tell people he'd make a sandwich for them, a sandwich. It's kosher. We were kosher folk back in the day, you know what I mean? You know, sir, you look kosher right now, And then he would make a sandwich and he'd put two sides down and he would say it was mayonnaise, but it was really Miracle Whip.
Mr. Scary Pete, how would you kill someone with a crazy straw?
I once knew a guy who he actually killed somebody with a straw, and we all said, "Oh man, that guy's crazy. That is a crazy straw trick." I wouldn't do it the same way, because I think the curlicue is you really get the leverage going in there.
So if you enlighten us in Florida, how do they torture and kill people with a hairbrush?
I have read.
Just like Florida.
I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry. What was it again? Okay. I have read in the newspaper that there was a fella down in Key West who made a gun out of a hairbrush. And he shot 17 crocodiles. And now he's the mayor. Okay. Thanks.
All right, this next question for the first contestant. How would you Christianize, that we're going to give you different holidays. The first one is Arbor Day.
You carve all the trees into crosses, right? You can do that, right? I had brain damage. I don't know if I mentioned that earlier.
That is actually a very logical answer, so well done. Mr. Nicky Delicious, how would you Christianize Groundhog Day?
First of all, we'd have to baptize that heathen groundhog. I'd be happy to do it. I have a kinship with groundhogs, and with dunking things under the water. But once we baptize that little bastard, I think winter will be over with forever.
Mr. Cat Person, how would you Christianize the Super Bowl?
Oh, this is easy. The Super Bowl is already one of America's greatest Christian traditions. It is wholesome, just a bunch of burly men colliding with each other in skin-tight outfits. There's nothing more Christian than that. It reminds me of the birth of Christianity, Greco-Roman days, for those of you who are not, with the Lord, where the gentlemen used to get naked and wrestle with each other in honor of Jesus. Thank you.
I'm familiar with that verse. All right, how would you Christianize Labor Day?
Well, first of all, no one would work. But second of all, I don't think we should be Christianizing anything else. Honestly, my brother already has Christmas and Easter. Can we just leave it at that? Thank you.
Walking like a true middle child. How would you Christianize Christianize April Fool's Day?
Oi! How would I Christianize April Fool's Day? How about Jesus never died? That's how I Christianize it. Thank you!
Got everybody, he got us all. How would you Christianize 420?
Well, you know, every time it's 420 and I managed to scrape together a little something, you know, I always say praise the Lord. It's something that's very near and dear to my heart. Having the appropriate sacrament to offer on 420. Yeah.
How would you Christianize Mother's Day?
Florida's a perfect example. You can Christianize just about anything. I mean, like public school. In Florida, you need to be a Christian to get a driver's license, and certainly to be a mother. Certainly. I'm so sorry about that. Okay.
All right, in this next round, the contestants, we've collected some information on you, and you've all had near-death or actual death experiences you've been resuscitated from, like Jesus himself, and we will be asking you about those. First contestant, your event involved some sort of animal encounter. Please tell us some more about that.
I was taken captive by a weird family in Switzerland. They all kind of looked like this woman right here, and they sold me into a live bear.
Animals, my God. Mr. Delicious, yours involved a road trip experience?
Yes, sir, that's right. You see, well, sometimes I like to go on road trips, but I don't budget ahead very well. So I get hungry, and I've got to find my meal on the road. Unfortunately, roadkill is not good for Nicky Delicious's gut, gastrointestinal system. So I got sick and crashed into a tree, and as I lay there, hoping and pining for a Pepto-Bismol, the good Lord smiled upon me, and his pink goodness doth went past my lips. At least that's how I remember it.
Excellent. So your near-death experience involved a heist or a robbery gone wrong?
Okay, y'all. So one time I was doing a lot of meth and heroin, right? And somebody left their car door open, right? Because they were delivering pizza. And I ran up on the car looking for his spare money. And I decided to take the car. But in the 20 minutes that I was trying to contemplate my heist, time moves differently when you're high on two different drugs. And I'm sure you know about that. He came up and startled me. And I popped the car into neutral and made myself over. Thank you.
Now, Esther, yours involved something electrical?
Yeah, we used to play a little bit with that. Jesus and I, we double dog dare each other to do these things, and one of them was like poking knives into electrical sockets, just to see what would happen. And one time, after passing out, I woke up and I seemed a little disappointed that I had woken up. You know, I wouldn't say that he saved me, but he was definitely there when it happened, kind of thing. I don't think he was ready to do CPR. He's like a good brother.
An electrical socket in 1080, another miracle. All right, yours involves double-crossing someone.
Oi! So this happened to me when I was a wee lad. I was with my grandpa, you know, and we were celebrating April Fool's Day because they recently made it a Christian holiday. And we were busy doing CrossFit in the gym in our house. I was making mayonnaise, a mayonnaise sandwich for myself, my grandpapa. And then I was double-crossed because it was a Miracle Whip.
Yours involves a celebrity.
Oh yeah, no, I know tons of celebrities. They like hanging out. Some of them buy flowers from me sometimes. But one time it was me and Robert Downey Jr. And we stayed in a cave for 3 days. And when we came out, everybody seemed surprised we were alive. Yeah.
That checks out. All right, sir, yours involves a photo opportunity gone wrong.
Okay, so for work, I didn't want to go, but we were at the Straight Pride Parade that they have every year in Orlando, boy, I was on the float with the governor and everything, and the cameras are snapping. That's a photo opportunity, right? The meth gators were hungry that day, and they almost caught us. They almost caught us. I wish they had. Okay.
Okay, thank you, contestants. That's the end of round one. So this is where you as audience members get to shine. You as audience, that's right, this is interactive. You can't just sit there for nothing. All right, so you as audience members, when I say go, don't go yet. Get to come up here. There are 4 little gnomes sitting on this table. And you can take one of them each, and you can give it to a comedian that you want to stay on the stage for round 2. Yes? So you take one little gnome, hand it, present it to the comedian of your choice, and that person's going to stay there. And we're going to have 4 separate people go up and do that, so there'll be 4 people left on stage, yeah? Rules. You can't be the parent of or the partner of a comedian. You can't have dressed or undressed them. You can't have tucked them in bed or fucked them in bed, okay, people? No cheating. All right, so I need 4 people to come up and take a gnome and give it to a comedian that you like.
And not to add any pressure, but the 3 comedians who are not picked will be put in a wicker man out front and burned alive through the duration of the rest of the show. No, you're voting who lives.
Go to the Wicker Man with Nicolas Cage. We're not going to have the light on fire. We might just let you sit with Nicolas Cage until you feel like jumping. All right, we got 4 people left moving into round 2. All right, so the first round was the Christian side of Easter. This next round is the pagan side of Easter. Yes. So we're going to ask you questions about fertility and or children. In this first round, we're going to ask you for an uncommon fertility ritual. So can you please tell us, Nikki Delicious, the fertility ritual involving the weather? Some sort of fertility ritual involving the weather.
Yeah, apparently around here the ritual is this. Nikki Delicious waits until it rains and then he gets laid. It's a bad place for that kind of ritual, let me tell you, okay? You'd think I'd move to Seattle. But Nikki Delicious, he likes his enchiladas. Let's just put it that way.
Tell us the fertility ritual that involves breakfast.
Well, I think good breakfast always comes with a protein shot. Yep, a little avocado toast. It's all about the colors and some honey for the allergies. Yep. that could be yummy.
Can you tell us a fertility ritual involving some sort of exercise or movement?
Oi! Usually before old haggis gets the ham, as we call it back in Scotland, what I like to do is I like to have a mayonnaise sandwich and do CrossFit. That way I'm raring to go for the lucky lady. Yeah. Thank you.
Interesting, that's 2 fertility rituals in a row that involve sperm. Excellent. Mr. Pete, please tell us the fertility ritual that involves witchcraft.
Yeah, so, sometimes when it's cold out and you need to stay warm, and the only people you're with are your dog and a witch. She's a real witch, I know, because she can make her eyes glow like fire. But, occasionally when you need to stay warm, the fertility comes with a knock. Yeah.
All right, I'm going to give you some very famous lyrics about a very sexual song, and all you have to do is fill in the blank with something not sexual. All you have to do is make it not sexual. Yeah? All right. Don't you wish your girlfriend blank?
Don't you wish your girlfriend had a good paying job? That'd be nice. You can sit at home, relax. Watch your Nikki Delicious YouTube.
In the style of Marvin Gaye, when I get that feeling, I want blank.
When I get that feeling, I do not want to talk about Jesus. Do not say his name. I'm tired of hearing it, no matter your mood, okay?
All right, Salt and Pepper's famous hit. Let's talk about blank.
Oi! Let's talk about haggis, bunts and beans.
My blank brings all the boys to the yard.
My windbreak brings all the boys to the yard. We like to congregate there because, it's a little bit sheltered and keeps the rain off.
All right, I'm going to give you, I know y'all are freaks, I'm going to give you a lesser known sex position, and you're going to tell me how it works. Yeah? Whack-a-mole.
Whack-a-mole. This is easy. Whack-a-mole, I play this all the time. I got this table, it's got all these holes in it, okay? I go under the table. After about 30 minutes of suggestive talk, the mole emerges and gets whacked. You get it?
What is a carousel?
The carousel's when you sit on top and you put your legs up and he just spins you around and around and around and around and around, and you don't say my brother's name.
Post office.
You always go to the post office when you want a delivery made, especially when you have a package that's worth delivering when it's safely handled,
Tell us about Space Jam.
Yeah, so Space Jam is when you get all your plastic bags together in one spot and you make a nice bit of bed for that, but occasionally there's a bit of residue left over, and that adds to the lubrication. We call that the Space Jam. Yeah.
That was wrong. It's when you have sex in the bed of your partner, but you're really masturbating to the picture of Lola Bunny in the ceiling, your poster. All right, we're going to ask you some questions about kids. Who is the creepiest kid in the world and why?
It's that bastard Macaulay Culkin. No kid can set up that many traps that quick. It doesn't make any sense. There was someone else in that house. He wasn't alone.
What is the meanest thing a kid has ever said to you, and what did you do about it?
I think my brother once told me my nose was bigger than my face. So I punched his, and now we match.
What should kids not be allowed to do and why?
What should kids not be allowed to do and why? Sit on their fucking phones all day long while the parents sit there and bitch about how great their kids are, you know?
What is one way your parents ruined you when you were young?
Well, this one's real hard for me to answer because, I turned out all right. But they did take me camping a lot, which I think gave me a predilection for the outdoors. So I live there now.
Two little gnomes looking for a gnome home. Two little gnomies. All right, so these gnomes are gonna go right here. And they need two new people to come up and give a gnome to a comedian that you want to stay on the stage.
These other two will be fed to my rabbits. It'll be a feast for a hare. Now, the other two contestants that are left over are going to be participating in round 3, which is the long form round. You'll each be assigned one thing. You'll get this card with which to do it. You are going to write us an Easter carol. You can use the back of the card to do so. We're going to keep this crowd busy for you for 5 minutes?
5 minutes.
Or until you let us know that you're ready.
I need a word from the audience that doesn't involve anything Eastery. Banana? Crowd. Banana? Yeah. Okay, your Easter carol has to have the word banana in it. It can be a made-up song, or it could be like a song that we know that just has Easter words. But think of like if it was a Christmas carol for Easter. Yeah? Okay.
Now, in the meantime, I'm going to take this opportunity to educate you fine people on the fine industry of hair raising and other things associated. And then, if you can answer my trivial questions correctly, you'll receive a prize. If you answer incorrectly, you will receive a less enticing prize. So we win either way. Would anyone like to go first? I have a volunteer.
Yeah!
Yes, you there. What is the name of the rabbit in Looney Tunes? A winner of an enticing prize. Who else has no fear and wishes to face the gauntlet of hair-raising questions? You, sir. What is, in the movie Who Framed Roger Rabbit, what is the name of Roger's hot wife?
Who is Jessica?
Oh, yeah.
Another winner. Have the rest of you so much fear that you will not participate in our game?
Start calling people out. Yeah!
Sir, what is the name of the...
Rabbit Farmer too.
In Winnie the Pooh, what is the rabbit's name? There is a rabbit. And his name is Rabbit, sir. You get a less enticing prize. Go on and open that up and share with the crowd what's in there. All right, who's next? You, sir, back there. What is a den of a rabbit called? You know, the place where it lives. A warren, sir, a warren. A less enticing prize.
That's some of my favorite shit I found in my apartment.
Anyone else? Come on, they're not all that. Sir. Okunoshima is the proper name of Bunny Island, an island where bunnies roam free with no predators. Where is it? There you are. Who's next? Mr. Bobby B. True or false? Rabbit teeth never stop growing. True is accurate. Anyone else? You said true. Excellent. Give her a prize. Though she was not called on, she knew the answer. You want to do it? Oh, come on. What's the worst that can happen? You get a less enticing prize? I'm trying to give you shit for free, man. It might suck, but maybe you'll get it right. True or false? Rabbits can rotate their ears 180 degrees. Oh, that was a bad answer, sir. It is true that rabbits can do that. Who else? True or false? Rabbits can have 3 babies at a time. False! That is a lie. They cannot do that. It doesn't say here whether they can have more or less, but they cannot have 3. That is a forbidden number of rabbit babies. Yes, ma'am, back there. In the gangs of New York, what was the name of Liam Neeson's gang? I'll give you a hint. Are you going to take her answer? The Dead Rabbits, unfortunately. Gotta watch more 4-hour Scorsese movies, it looks like. Who else? What is a baby rabbit called? A kitten. That is apparently true. She wrote all this down. I'm just citing Wikipedia as printed on this card.
It's a very scientific fact.
Adam, how many times do rabbits blink in an hour?
You don't give her choices.
Oh, 10, 30, or 60? In an hour. 10. 10 times an hour. That's pretty fucking crazy, actually. I've completely dropped character. I'm just fascinated by these rabbit facts. How are you guys doing over here, by the way?
Let's do it.
He's good? You're still working?
Yeah.
Yeah, okay, couple more. I'm just going to read these out, and if you guys know them, yell it out. Benito Antonio Martinez Ocasio is a rapper known by what stage name? There he is. In what horror movie does an underground race of shadow humans subsist on rabbits? Nope. No, maybe. I feel like that's a common theme in a lot of movies, man. You might not have Give him a bad prize. He's said a wrong movie. Us was the answer. I'm not even going to read that one. Everyone knows that one. What's the name of the creepy rabbit in Donnie Darko? Frank. Someone who didn't know.
Everybody!
Bonnie Jo Halpin is created and credited as being the first ever what? Boom! Winner! Alright, last one. Advertisements for this type of footwear date back to 1931. Boom! Winner! Now that all pretense of my character has disappeared except for my tucked in pants and this weird looking hat, we're going to give it up to our 2 finalists. to sing/recite for you their Easter carols, and then by round of applause we'll decide which one of them lives and gets to pass on their genes, and who will be sacrificed to the hares. Mr. Delicious.
All right, this is a traditional cautionary Easter carol. Oh, here comes the bunny. Oh, children, look out. It's a grown man in a costume. What's that about? He hops up and down like a buck-toothed rocket, but pay attention, children, to what's in his pocket. What makes that fake bunny so active and plucky? Let's say it's a banana, kids, if you're lucky. Why does he hop? Why does he look at me? The answer's on the sex offender registry. So forget the eggs, children, don't wander alone. Easter's for perverts, all kids stay at home.
All right, we sing this one around the trash can fire at this time of year. Who is that peeping through my window? Has he come to steal my eggs? He looks just like he awoke in a cave. That rhymes with eggs. Now he's leaving treats all over my yard. Plastic bags, cigarette butts, and banana peels. So when the kids run outside to hunt for chocolate, Shifty Pete is there to hear them squeal.
A well-known household carol. All right, we're gonna do this by round of applause, folks. So you're gonna applaud for the comedian that you want to win and not get sacrificed to the vicious bunnies. Applaud if you want Nikki Delicious to win. Applaud if you want Shifty Pete to win. Shifty Pete, I think you're our winner. You get an Easter basket, and you can see the child.
Yeah, I've been needing something to use as a toilet.
Thank you for saying that for our comedy game show. We have some stand-up for you all. We're going to go in the order that folks are voted off, and we'll give them each a couple of minutes, and you'll get to see our comedians here. But first, before we bring up our contestants, I'm going to hand it over to my co-host, Million Leovic.
What's up, guys? Stand-up comedy without a theme. Hooray us. All right. My name's actually Million, not whatever I made up earlier. Million's a weird name, though, right? You wouldn't have believed me if I told you that earlier. My name is weird because I'm from Eastern Europe. As a little kid, my parents taught me very early that Americans can't be trusted. They're all obsessed with money. And I was like, that seems like a rude generalization. But then I spent, 30 years introducing myself to people. Hi, my name's Million. Oh, like $1 million. $1 million of fucking anything, man. What the fuck is it with you people? Just pick a noun, any noun. Just doesn't have to be. That's funny. It was weird growing up. Like, I never really felt like I fit in. I always felt like an outsider. At this point, my preferred pronouns are we and us. Just so I can feel like I'm a part of something for a minute. That's pretty much true. It was the first time I ever really felt like I belonged was when I discovered weed. Started getting really high, and that was where I found my people in high school. And then weed became legal, and I lost everything. It ruined my life. I remember the first time I went into a legal weed shop, I felt like one of those goths or punks from the 80s. The kids that would pierce their ears with actual safety pins. The first time they saw a Hot Topic, what the fuck is this? You just took everything I've ever stood for and turned it into an Apple store, listened to Sublime too many days in a row, and had a horrible transformation under the light of the full moon you could never come back from. It was awful. Worst thing about legal weed is now I don't know anyone who sells mushrooms anymore. If I want to go camping, I have to deal with actual criminals, or worse yet, deadheads. Dude, the Grateful Dead is the equivalent of if someone were to come up here now tonight and just tell you setups the next 10 minutes straight. No punchlines, just like setup after setup after setup. Oh, it's awful. Oh man, I'm starting to think all of classic rock is just like an edifice to like the boomers' legacy. You know what I mean? Like that song American Pie. You ever listen to the last verse of that where he says, I met a girl who sang the blues and I asked her for some happy news? Like, isn't that the most fucked up boomer shit to say to someone in the world? Like, hey baby, why don't you smile more? Here's a list of things that make me sad in the form of a 7-minute song. First one on the list is how kids don't listen to real music no more. It's like the national anthem of mansplaining. Oh man. You guys realize that song Rock You Like a Hurricane? You know the song, right? You feel any different about it knowing that it's written by a guy named Rudolph? Right? I don't know why that's funny, but nobody named Rudolph has ever rocked anyone like any kind of weather pattern. Like a stiff spring breeze. Like, no. Rudolph will maybe rock you around the Christmas tree if you behave yourself. You know what I mean? Like, that's what Rudolph does. I don't know. It's tough, man. I work at an RV park you can almost see from this balcony. It's kind of nice. RV people are a little bit weird. They're mostly from the Midwest, you know, older. They mostly voted for Trump. They'll come into the park, you know, like they're like the descendants of people who failed at the Oregon Trail. You know, they got to about like Kansas, and then Josiah died of dysentery, and so, well, we're from Kansas now. That's how that ended up happening. And they're doomed to travel the western United States in these updated Conestoga wagons with little embroidered steering wheel covers that say, drive like no one else is driving. I've developed my own euphemisms for dealing with them. One of my favorites is drive safe, which means I'm fucking done talking to you now. You can go away, please drive safe. And that one kind of backfired on me because like last week I was running late for work. I texted my coworker. I was like, I'll be about 15 minutes late. She's like, okay, drive safe. How could you say that? I thought we were friends. Drive safe? Okay. Now we know where I stand. No, it's weird. Like they'll come in and argue with me about like mask mandates and stuff back when that was happening. And then they'll, go through the 20 minutes of arguing about that and then be like, oh, so what should we do now that we're in Santa Fe? I thought you motherfuckers did your own research. You know, like, my whole life Republicans have been telling me how I'm going to like burn in hell. Little did I know it's because they were going to turn the planet into one. Like, fuck me, right? I guess God works in mysterious ways. I don't know. That was a rough one. All right. So you guys had fun watching these folks do improv. They were coming up with all that off the top of their heads. Now we're going to bring them up telling jokes that they've written down and occasionally practiced. And it's going to be a lot funnier, I bet. I'm just going to pick one of the first people we got with TJ Jones.
Oh, I could tell when I got here, I was like, this crowd is primed for comedy. But sometimes it's really gratifying knowing that you're the most fucked up person in the room. And I feel that way all the time. Mostly because I've done more drugs than anybody here. I know that you're probably sitting there thinking, no, I've done more drugs than that guy. But let's just set aside the 12 years that I smoked meth every single day. And go back to before that when I was a psychedelics enthusiast. And so I tried the classics like mushrooms and acid and ecstasy and things like that. And then I discovered a bunch of other really cool drugs like 2CB and 2CT2 and 2CT7 and MDB, MDE, MDBD, 2CI, 2CT2, 2CE, 4MEO, DMPT, DIPT, DPT, AMT, 5-methoxy AMT, and then there's the two big ones, DMT and 5-methoxy DMT. So when I was 28 years old, if you don't know what a 5-MeO DMT is, it's what they extract from the Sonoran desert toad and then they smoke it. But back when I was in my late 20s, early 30s, it was legal and you could order it on the internet. And we did a lot. And one night, I'm not even going to get into the effects. I'll just say this, it's fantastic. But I was at a party one night with some friends of mine, and we were all smoking it. And when it came my turn to take a hit, I took this. I smoked way too much of it, and what happened was I took off all my clothes and started running around the house, speaking in tongues and bouncing off the walls. And all my friends were there just laughing their asses off. And somehow I got it in my head that there was a motorcycle at the Toyota dealership just down the street, and that it belonged to me, and that I needed to go and get it. So I charged out the front door of the house, butt naked, and started running down the street. As I was leaving, I could hear my friends inside the house. They were laughing at me. And so I'm running down the street, and I turn the corner, and there's these two police cars sitting in the middle of the street with their lights on. And I suddenly realized that those lights were for me, and that I needed to get up on stage and dance. So I did. I jumped up onto the police car and started just killing it with my sick dance moves, and singing the whole time the trumpet part of some old 1920s jazz song like. I look down, and there's these two cops standing there looking at me with their arms crossed like this. And they were laughing at me. And but they were so nice. They held me down off the car, and they wrapped a blanket around me, and they gave me some hot cocoa, and they took me back to my friend's house. Isn't that incredible that they were so nice? I mean, you would think that they would arrest me or something like that, but they didn't. Isn't that amazing? You know why that's so incredible? Because it didn't fucking happen. I was still in my friend's house, okay? I was still naked, and they were still laughing at me, but I made that whole thing up in my head. The point of this story is that if you can get 5-MeO-DMT, please let me know, because I'm still trying to find some, okay? That's it for me, folks. Thanks a lot.
All right, DJ Jones. Coming up next to the stage, straight from Albuquerque, came up to be with us and replace a guy who didn't show up at the last minute. Give it up for Mr. Trip Stelnicki.
Hi everybody, hi. This isn't my normal haircut. I thought I'd do something different. I walked in and I was like, give me the January 6th. Give me the taking a shit on Nancy Pelosi's desk. Give me the not guilty. Give me the can't wait to do it again in 2 years. Give me they did all of it. They got it. My girlfriend loves it. She's like, I've always wanted to fuck a patriot. I've been sober for 2 months. 2 months. Yeah, it's not real. I'm not enjoying it. It's like, you know how when the NFL put like little end racism stickers, like tiny end racism stickers on the back of the helmet, and you were like, yeah, but we know where your heart is. I have like a little I'm sober, and it's like, yeah, it's not real. They don't tell you that when you stop drinking, sex becomes very different. Like, some of that's obvious. Like, it's obviously way easier to hook up when you're hook up, I heard it. It sounded like a guidance counselor. Like, why did I say it like that? When you're trying to, if you're drunk, you can, like a stranger, that you can seal the deal. You don't even have to use words. When you're drunk, you can seal the deal non-verbally. You can seal the deal like a seal. Just like, She's like, and you're like, that's a seal. That hasn't worked once. It's gotta be the last time I tell it. But I have a girlfriend, so I don't have to worry about that. So, but it's still different. Like fucking now that we're so, because when I fuck better drunk. When I'm drunk, I fuck. And when I'm sober, I engage in sexual intercourse. Like, it's very polite. Drunk, I'm an animal, I'll do whatever. And then sober, I'm like, I believe we have an appointment. Thank you for your professionalism. I'll be right out of here. I'll be super quick. I don't know. Drunk, my dick is like the captain of the football team. And sober, my dick is just like, I'm the manager of the baseball team. I don't know. My mom told me I need to be an extracurricular. Sober sex is a little like baseball. It could put you to sleep. It will. I think it's better than Ambien. I think Ambien is just little crushed up baseballs, actually. That's why when you snort it, you turn into a third base coach. That was scarier than snorting Ambien. Oh, that is a stupid joke. I agree. My dad was a firefighter for 40 years, and I have never helped anyone. Thank you. I've been trying to write a punchline to that for 3 weeks, but it still just feels good to share the truth a little bit. My dad spent 4 decades running into burning buildings, into fires, to help people. If you invite me to a bonfire, I'm 50-50. I'm like, oh no. He 4 decades helping people. And I, yesterday at lunch, was sitting there and a guy near me started choking, and I was so fucking annoyed. I was like, do you have to die so loudly? This is firefighter DNA. This is what, my dad spent 40 years helping people so that I could, and then I swear to God, I'm like it was contagious. An old woman at the restaurant, an old woman, ew. She started choking too. Like, and I was like, can I get a fucking refill? You know, like, not a good person. I don't know what happened to either of those old people. I know that's not a satisfying ending, but neither is choking on chicken nuggets at Wendy's. So they should have shut the fuck up. I'm not a helper. I'm an American. You know what I mean? Like that's. I'll give you my HBO Go password, but if you ask me to join a union, I'll report your ass. I know which way the wind is blowing. I know who makes decisions in this country. The one time I tried to help in my life, I was in high school and I was more stoned than I've ever been. And I came home late at night and we had a little dog when I was in high school. It was this big and his name was Pop-Tart because it could fit in a toaster. And I came home and I saw these things in this order. I saw a bag of Hershey's chocolate that had been ripped open. And then I saw little Hershey's wrappers. And then I saw a Pop-Tart with chocolate all over his face. And I was like, firefighter DNA. I don't even remember thinking this, but I leapt into action and I squeezed him. Like a tube of toothpaste. And it fucking worked. He puked and shit and he lived. He's still alive. But he was never the same. He was, ever after that, I'd walk into the room and Pop-Tart would be like, fuck you, man. And I'd be like, I saved your life. He's like, why do you think I ate all that chocolate? I don't want to be around. My name's Pop-Tart. No dignity. So I was doing comedy, and in the middle of it, this woman was chirping like a bird. She just kept chirping. Like a bird, if a bird could sound like a bitch. Like, don't chirp. And she was chirping a lot, so I turned to her and I said, do we have a problem? And she said, I'm not trying to heckle you. I have Tourette's syndrome. I'm sorry. And I was like, I'm sorry, because your Tourette's syndrome is ruining my set. This is a true story. I didn't say that part, obviously. I apologized to her. Oh my God, what's wrong with me? I felt so bad. She was cool. Happens all the time. She goes to all kinds of comedy shows. We got to talking. The talking went well. She took me home that night. Later that night, I was in the middle of fucking her, and she started laughing. I was like, where the fuck was this earlier? She was laughing a lot. I was like, do we have a problem? She was like, oh, I'm not trying to heckle you. It's just that in hindsight, your stand-up comedy wasn't that bad. I was like, And that's the story of the hardest I've ever come. Thank you so much for coming out to this comedy show. Give it up for your host, William and Matt.
Thank you. All right, coming up to the stage is one of our long-lost Wayward brothers who came back, and he's coming out to the mics again, and he's awesome, and he helped us tonight by being on this. Give it up for Jesse Lee.
Good evening. Hello, everyone. Good to be here. Black power militants, Nazis, and hippies are locked in a never-ending bout of rock, paper, scissors. My money's on the black power militants. I just moved back to town from all over. I was in Las Vegas and stuff. Let me tell you, they have like red and green chili in Vegas, but they don't know what it is. It just sits there in like restaurants. No one orders it, and when I say I like the green chili, people go, is that the medium sauce or just give me the red chili? And we have 2 red sauces. I don't know which. Just give me Christmas. What? It's chili. Don't you know what you're selling? Come on. There's a place right around the corner that sells sushi burritos. 2 different things. Sushi and burrito put into one. You don't know the chili you're selling? I'm very angry about this, and I have not let it go yet, okay? I'm sorry. I decided to get that out. But I've been looking for a job, just like I was in Vegas. But when I was in Las Vegas, big reopening, and one of the huge casinos had a mass, recruitment event. So I showed up to this huge warehouse, and it's filled in line, like I was about to have my head shot with pressurized air and a cow or something. But they were so short of time, and there were so many people interviewing, they started doing group interviews. So I got paired up with somebody. I'm a bartender, and the person I was paired up with wanted to be a front desk agent at a hotel. So same interview, same questions, same qualifications, except they made me go first. So it would be standard interview questions, like, what did you do recently in your last job that was above and beyond your duty? I was like, wow, well, somebody asked me for a pina colada, but we didn't have a blender. So I came up with a magical idea of mixing pineapple liqueur and coconut rum really fast and vigorously and shake it. And then poured it out. Boom, instant pina colada. Oh, she was so happy with me, I got the hugest tip. Okay, very nice. And how about you? And the lady goes, well, I used to work with the mentally handicapped children and terminally ill cancer patient children. And they came from poorer families. And so even though I worked with them 30 hours a week for minimum wage, on the weekends I would put in another 5 to 10 hours to help each individual family and their parents. That was question 1. I had another 15 minutes of sizing up to Mother Teresa Jr. over here. Everything she said was like God's gift to mankind. And I'm like, yeah, one time somebody was unhappy with the bar I was working at, and so I told him to go somewhere else. That's a good way to answer an interview question, right? Like, what would you do for this position if somebody was unhappy? I tell them to fucking leave. Customer service. And you, miss, what challenges did you face? Well, one of the children died while over the weekend while I was very involved with their family. I wanted to leave. There was no escape. How do you escape a situation like that? I'm interviewing for a job that's completely unrelated. It's not competitive, but boy, do I look like a shithead, right? I'm like, wow, yeah, my greatest achievement was telling some old lady that she's cool. Instant job success. George W. Bush has like one of those standing scooter things, but I'm not getting segues. I cry a lot. Like, I'm a crier. But I found I don't cry at like the most opportune times. I mean, like I don't cry if I'm sad or if I see like something sweet on TV or somebody tells me a sad story. That's not when I cry. I cry when like, there's a commercial about a lost pet. But I'm like, I'm funny. Not this, not now. I also masturbate furiously after I cry. It's like a ritual I have. I don't masturbate with like the tears, that's weird, I know what you're thinking. That's too far. No, but I will cry sometimes after I masturbate as well. I'll cry after sex, but not before. But I won't masturbate after sex. But no, wait. No, I just cried like 4 times. It's like, cry, sex, cry, masturbate. That's the one. I'll make up for it later. I was very prepared to do stand-up tonight. I was very pleased to be up here with the game show act. It harkens back to my days as a kid. I was raised on game shows. It was like one of my aspiring roles was to be like a game show host and just to stand in front of people and ask someone else questions and make them look stupid while I come out the start of the show. What? Good. What's like your favorite game show when you're growing up? Jeopardy? That show is. I was a disturbed little kid. I caught the wrong point of Jeopardy. I would sit there and wait for people to fuck up and then answer in the form of a question. Just sit there like judging them, like, I'll take this category for 100. Well, who was the president of the United States and blah, 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 blah. Oh, it's easy. Harrison, blah, blah, blah. I don't know any facts, so I'm just kind of filling in with blankness. Then I'd sit there like, that fucking idiot, you didn't say it in the form of a question. I'm smarter than them. Thank you, everyone. Thanks, Jessica.
Give it up for Jessie. All right, coming next to the stage. She's not actually Jesus' sister, but her real name is actually Esther. Give it up for Esther Coker. Wait, are you Jesus' actual sister?
Oh, far from it. Hi guys, my name is Esther. My friend and fellow comedian Ryan Brett says I look like a teacher who fucks her students. Yeah, thank you. But my name is Esther. It's a very Jewish name, by the way, in case you didn't know. It's the only chapter in the Bible named after a woman, and she was queen of the Jews. And because I am so white and of Jewish descent, I am by far the worst dancer in the room. Oh yeah, watch out for them elbows. They're sharp. That's how I make my own way on the dance floor. I was actually voted the most laid back in school. You know how people are sometimes voted like the class clown, the teacher's pet, the most likely to succeed. I was actually voted the most laid back. You can look it up, Texas Women's University, class of 2010. And I always found that really amusing because I'm on enough mood stabilizers to level a small podium. I might seem cool, but I'm heavily medicated. Nothing is worse than a bad therapist. Just like a sex worker or a prostitute, you kind of get what you pay for. There's private health insurance and there's public health insurance. Private insurance gets you half-decent advice. Public health insurance gets you mental herpes, the gift that keeps on giving. Like that time I sought help from a female empowerment coach, and she ended up sleeping with my ex-boyfriend. Mental herpes. I hope he got real herpes, that fucking dick. But I confronted her. I asked her. I was like, hey, why'd you do that? Like, you knew that was going to hurt my feelings. You know what she said? She said, I knew it would be a trigger for you, but you said you wanted to work on it. Are you fucking kidding me? Oh my God, and I'm so glad she said that through text, because had she told me that in person, I would have punched her in the face. Have you ever said something during sex that like just didn't quite come out right? You know, like the other night I was having sex with my boyfriend and he flipped me over on my back and put me down. And I said, good boy. And he didn't seem to mind, you know, but in my head I was like, what the fuck, Esther? He's not a dog. What are you doing? I'm interested in asking my boyfriend to move in because of like cheaper payments, right? But he has a giant white husky, and there's hair everywhere. Like, love the dog, cute dog, awesome dog, white hair everywhere. I'll be like cleaning my ear with a Q-tip, it comes out with white hair on it. I'm brushing my hair, comes out with white hair. I'm putting on my underwear, there's white hair in that. This dog is making me age in the wrong direction. If he moves in, he's going to come with a robot vacuum cleaner and the Fountain of Youth. The shutdown was 2 years ago. And at the lowest point during the shutdown, these are some of the things that I actually and truly Googled. I think they're in order, by the way. Can you potty train a miniature horse? How to make homemade bread. How to make homemade bread with cheese. Overcoming carb addiction. And overcoming cocaine addiction, and how to kill yourself. And by the way, this sends you immediately to the suicide hotline, which I think is really interesting because if you try to look up how to build a bomb, for example, it doesn't send you to a therapeutic website. Like, you want to kill a lot of people? Okay. You just want to kill yourself? No, wait, stop, don't do it. Thanks, Google. Thank you guys, have a good night.
Hell yeah, Esther Coker. All right, this other fella drove all the way from Albuquerque as well. Give it up for Mr. Corey Herrera.
Oi! What's up, guys? How's it going? Really? That's all I get? How are you guys doing? You guys good or what? This feels like the or what crowd tonight. What's that? Bueno, translate, sir. I mean, no sé. I have a cousin from Chimayo. His name's No Sé, bro. Just kidding. That's too ethnic for the white folks. Sorry, guys. Don't mean to exclude you. I'm Native American. Give it up for me, right? I worked really hard on that, you know? Well, I guess my mom worked really hard on that. Let's give credit where credit's due, you know? I come from the reservation, so I guess you could say I come from a nice gated community, right? There's a barbed wire fence around my house, you know? I always know when I come off the res because people come up to me and be like, hey, are you still selling, you know? It's like, how dare you assume I'm selling turquoise just because I'm native, you know? I work in Albuquerque. I'm trying to get rid of this meth real quick, you know? Buy something or get out of the alley, right? All right, I got some alley folks here. I'll see you in the alley after. Just kidding. See my necklace? You guys like my necklace? Yeah? Okay, that's fine. It's authentic turquoise. I got it from a Filipino guy, right? Alright. I feel like a big part of being native is just answering stupid questions that people ask you. You know what I mean? I was walking down the plaza today, this lady came up to me. I knew she was gonna say something weird because she was wearing turquoise too, you know? She feels like she bought it from my cousin or some shit, right? So she came up to me, she's like, hey sir, how are you doing? I was like, don't say how, that's offensive. She's like, really? She's like, no, I'm just kidding, I'm doing good, how are you? She's like, I'm doing okay, can I ask you a question? I was like, yeah, go for it. And then she was all, I don't know if I should say this. I'm like, bro, just pause it real quick. If you have to open with that to a complete stranger, don't ask the question, you know? She's like, go ahead, ask your question. This is what she asked me, true story. She's like, do you sit Indian style? It's like a lady, everything I do is Indian style, okay? That's right, man. He's got no choice in the matter, you know? Give it for my natives way in the back over there. That's how Indian they are. I hope he doesn't see us and pick on us. We're supposed to be home right now. We're out getting fucked up. So to be fair to that lady, she did have a strong follow-up. She said, how do you celebrate Indigenous Peoples Day? I was like, all right, that's a good question, you know? So I don't know if you guys know, but we don't celebrate Columbus Day here no more. We celebrate Indigenous Peoples Day. Did you guys know that? Please don't woo, that's offensive. Yeah, man, we're not gonna do that. We're not gonna celebrate some fucking random European on his yacht, you know? Hitchhiking on the open ocean. Typical man, didn't ask for directions, you know? Okay, a bunch of men, I guess, drove here, taking that a little personal, you know? So this is how I celebrate, you know? If you have any Indigenous friends, or if you're Indigenous, feel free to use this. I find a random white person, I go to their house and I do not leave, you know? That's right, man. If I'm in a great mood, I'll sell the house back to them after, you know? That's why I'm gonna open up a real estate agency called Manifest Destiny, you know? Getting our land back one foreclosure at a time, everybody. Thank you for the applause. So how did everyone do during COVID? You guys good or what? Did anyone get COVID here? Yes. Does anyone have COVID? Get the fuck out of here, bro. So I got COVID and I had to do a show. I was kind of finding myself in a predicament, you know, so I had to perform a show right after I got COVID. And, you know, it was downtown the plaza, the show, so it was a really uppity white crowd, you know what I'm saying? People wearing Pendleton jackets, you know, cowboy hats, never did the Cowboys work in their life, you know? But then I found myself in the position, a really interesting position. I was, you know, in a position to give this all-white crowd a disease, you know? I kind of had a sadistic thought, you know? I like this new power I have acquired because of COVID, right? So I coughed on them and 13 people died. It was a great show. Yeah, cheer for those people dying. They can't hear you. I actually came up with a few hobbies. I have some more goals for myself. You know, when during COVID, I thought, I want to be a business owner. I want to be an entrepreneur, you know? So my friend, who's a very successful businessman, he gave me this piece of advice. He said, do one thing every day that scares you. Do one thing every day that scares you. So I was like, all right. So last night I tried to fuck a ghost. Now being canceled by a poltergeist, you know? Yeah, that joke sucked. It's fine. No, but I actually wanted to open up a business that sells pho in Albuquerque and call it fucking sick, you know? I also want to open up a place that sells uneven chairs, uneven desks, and wobbly tables and call it Not Even, you know? Hey, where'd you get that chair from? Not even, bro, you know? Thanks. I was at a restaurant earlier today. This waitress came up to me. She's like, how may I serve you? I was like, well, you can bow down and chant. But I guess that's not how they roll at Chick-fil-A. No Chick-fil-A fans tonight, that's fine. So just bring my chicken sandwich, bring some extra sauce, you know? Chick-fil-A, man, it's the only place you get a chicken sandwich was the side of homophobia, right? Alright, okay, moving on. Let's see. When I'm bored, I like to take bottled water to a river and dump it out and be like, you're free, you know? Water is life, everybody. Whenever you reach a certain age on the res, especially where we're from, a piece of advice that they always tell us is that you were freely given wisdom, so you also have to freely give, you know? So my cousin came up to me, he asked me a question. He's like, hey, do you know how to give an Indian burn? You guys know what Indian burns are? Yeah? Okay. I was like, yeah. He's like, can you show me? I was like, sure. So I pushed him in the fireplace, you know? Yeah, teach them when they're young, right? I feel like every mechanic I've ever been to is racist. They all say the exact same thing to me, you know? This engine needs some work. I have 8 to 5, everybody. So I work at an all-native school, man. I fucking love that shit. All-native school, all-native students, man. It's so fucking badass. I love it so much, you know? We just talk shit about history all day, you know? Man, founding fathers ain't found shit, dude, you know? Boston Tea Party, just a bunch of white people cosplaying as natives. Let's be real, you know? If they're real natives, they would have stole that tea and sold it back to them, you know? At a bingo or bake sale or something, right? I gotta say it. I wish the British would have won. The red coat looks good with my red skin, you know? And then you would have natives with English accents. I think that would just be badass, you know? You guys want some crumpets or what? You know? Gotta save the queen. That was a risky one to tell with all the white people. Very nice. Oh yeah, white people, make some noise. Give it up for yourselves. Come on, give it up for yourselves. Please don't woo, that's offensive. We've already been over that. I love white people, man. I think every family should have one, right? Help that credit score out a little bit, you know? Anyone dating here tonight? God damn, that was a hard silence, dude. Jeez. A room full of single people, huh? So I recently started dating again, and dating is fucking awkward, dude. It doesn't matter how old you get, you know? But the goal in dating is to find someone, you know, that you can just spend your time with. You know, when conversations you have with this person, it's just endless, you know, there's no effort, you know? That's the kind of love that you want to find, you know what I mean? I found that recently, and eventually, though, if you guys are interested in each other, the topic of sex will be brought up, you know? So I just asked her, I was like, what are you into? And she said she's into race play. You guys know what race play is? Yes? No? Okay. This will be fun stuff to Google when you get home, you know? I was like, race play, what is that? Is that like a fast version of foreplay? Because I could do that for days, you know? That was a great idea. I might pitch that to Shark Tank next week, you know? No, that's how she explained to me. She said, basically, race play means I'm the master and you're the slave. I was like, how the fuck does that work? Because we're both native, you know? And this is what she said. She's like, I'll be the Catholic Church coming to burn your village down. I gotta be honest, when she said that, it turned me on a little bit, you know? This village ain't been burned down in a while, you know? Trying online dating, man. Online dating is also awkward, man. I feel like there's a lot of false advertising in online dating as well. People use pictures of themselves that's not really reflective of who they are now, so online dating is a lot like fast food. It's like, oh, that doesn't look like what I ordered, but I'm still gonna eat it, you know? Dollar menu burger is still a burger, everybody. All right. I think that's all I got for you guys. Thank you guys so much. You guys are a lovely audience, man.
Hell yeah, Corey, over there. All right, friends, we're coming up to our winner's circle. We got your runner-up who's taken off the jacket so I can call him by his real name, the Mr. Nick Pelton.
Thank you, Million. Thank you, everybody. Give it up for Million and Meg for running the game show. Yeah, and thanks for sticking around. I'll be honest, I kind of forgot I had to do stand-up right now, so this will be real short. I think you guys are going to like it. I'm going to tell you about a movie I saw. I didn't even see the movie, actually. I just saw the movie poster, but I'm pretty sure I know exactly what the movie is all about. It's called Blacklight. It's got a very angry-looking Liam Neeson, and the slogan is, "We're gonna need more men." And at first I thought porno, right? But no, I double-checked, I triple-checked, I even tried jacking off to it. Not a porno. But it's just part of this, it's part of this Hollywood hard-on for old men playing action stars. Does anybody notice this? They're like, okay, I got this great idea for a movie. He's this unstoppable, handsome man, and he's 85. And he takes down 300 bad guys. I think it started with Indiana Jones and the Crystal Skull, you know? Harrison Ford crawled out of his coffin. He's like, I can do Indiana Jones again, piece of cake. And I started watching that movie, and at first I thought his face was melting like at the end of the first movie. You know, when they opened the Ark and it's like, I was like, Indy, watch out, it's the Ark! No, that's just his face now. That's just what he looks like. That's Harrison Ford. They're digitally de-aging Robert De Niro, and they're trying to turn him into a 20-year-old man, and he looks like a marionette when he walks. He looks like this. You'd almost, if you saw him, you'd be like, oh, does your 20-year-old son have cerebral palsy? No, he's digitally de-aged. Don't worry, he's fine. But I don't know. It's just an insane trend. What do we got next? What do you think? Is it going to be Clint Eastwood in The Karate Kid? Is that what we got to look forward to? Or even better yet, coming this summer, Bruce Willis is Peter Pan. Hey, I'm flying here, guys. Watch out. Get out of here. Come relive the magic through the eyes of a cataract. Starring the cast of The Expendables as the Lost Boys. Sylvester Stallone plays Little Wendy. There's a boy in my room, and he's flying. Yeah, that's right, I'm flying. You guys got any Preparation H around here? We tried to get Betty White to play Wendy, but we just missed her. So instead, we're streaming in Angela Lansbury live from her hospital bed. Please kill me. Peter, can you teach me how to fly? Yeah, sure. You think happy thoughts? You take 2 Cialis and a Viagra, and there you go. Anyway, I think that's all I got for tonight. Thank you guys for sticking around. Thank you, everybody. Thank you, Million. And yeah.
Hell yeah, Nick Pelton. He wasn't prepared at all. That was almost improv. We're having a good time. All right, you know him as Scary Pete. We all know him as Scary Phil. That's not even his real fucking name. Give it up for Phil Johnson.
Oh yeah, my name is Phil Johnson. It's nice to have you here. I really like how body positive the little teapot is. You know, short and stout and proud. Yeah, good for you, little teapot. Yeah, hashtag love handles, huh? Actually, I wish all of my kitchenware was that positive. But, you know, the picture's like, well, you could lose that weight if you just come work out with me in the baseball team. And the French press keeps asking questions like, why are you so fat, huh? Then the pot started calling the kettle black, and I was like, whoa. Simmer down. Put a lid on it, you know? Yeah. It's tricky out there, though. I had a problem the other day. Anybody else have this problem? I was walking home late at night, and it was one of those nights where it was a little chilly. So I was walking fast and had my hood up, and I was walking along, and I realized that the woman in front of me was also walking real fast. and she's looking around, and she's got her keys in her fist, like a budget rental car Wolverine, you know. And I'm like, oh man, I thought this was a good neighborhood. What is she afraid of? Oh, it's me. She's afraid of me. I thought that was funny, so like I gave a little laugh just to kind of reassure her. Don't be afraid, pretty lady. She boogied on down that street, tell you what. Speaking of streets, I'm a big fan of Sesame Street. You guys Sesame Street fans? I love Sesame Street. Everything about it, the theme song, you know. Can you tell me how to get to Sesame Street? Spoiler alert, they never tell you. I don't know how to get to Sesame Street. I keep asking. I actually started thinking maybe that's code for some kind of like, you know, drug slang. Like, hey man, you tell me how to get to Sesame Street? I gotta meet a guy named Oscar on the alley.
No, but maybe I can help you.
Yeah. I'm looking for some X.
X is my favorite.
Okay, yeah, I don't know, maybe some H?
H is for horse.
Yeah, that's right, man, come on. But I do love kid stuff, though. I read I'm gonna do it. I saw a book the other day that I was looking for something to read, and I picked it up because of the author's name. The author's name was Bublé, like Michael Bublé, the singer, but this guy's first name was Bubba. His name was Bubba Bublé, and I'm like, whatever this book is, I'm reading it. Turned out it was a kid's book. It was a kid's book about the cartoon King of the Elephants. Remember that guy? He was the cartoon elephant king, and this was a little more modern book. He actually was doing some social outreach in his home of Northern Africa, because some of the tribes there they're pretty secluded, and you know they're not very progressive thinking. So he was trying to help them out. He actually opened up a gay bar there, you know, for the big hairy Northern African ethnic gay men to go to. So the name of this book was Babar Buys Berber Bear Bar by Bubba Bublé. It was good. It was good. I liked the second chapter where he had to go out and purchase champagne for his new establishment. That was Babar Buys Berber Bear Bar Bubbly by Bubba Bublé. That was a good one. The ending's a little sad. He ended up having to sell the place for tax reasons. That chapter was called Bye-Bye Baba Berber Bear Bar by Bubba Bublé. Yeah. Well, I have been doing a lot of reading though. A lot of reading lately. I read Green Eggs and Ham. You guys read that one? I think it's about consent. Like, it should have just been a one chapter book. Like, hey, you want some green eggs and ham? No. Okay, like that. End of the book. Like, no, this Sam I Am guy, he's got to push it. He's like, oh yes. Like, I know this is great, and you already said no. I know, but like this would be so funny though, wouldn't it? It's just an idea. If like maybe I don't know if like maybe if you were on a boat with a goat, maybe on a train in the rain, would that get you in the mood? No, Sam, and yeah, boy, what's the deal with his name? Like. Sam I Am. Is he some discount Yoda?
Eat green eggs and ham on a horse. Eat them with the force.
Okay. But he just gets away with it, and I think it's because he does it in the sing-songy voice. You know, he does that awful rhyme, and I'm thinking, when that'd be great if you could use bad rhymes to just get away with everything. Like, hello, officer. Here's my license and registration. I can see from your face of great consternation that you took issue with that I was going too fast. I assure you that's all in the past. Oh, okay, have a nice night. Go into the doctor's office and sit down, Mr. Smith. I have some bad news. I've looked over your x-rays and deciphered the clues. Your tumor, it seems, is growing by 3s and by 2s. Treatment path now you must choose. But to be frank, either way you will lose. If you seek a second opinion, I recommend Dr. Seuss. That's right, folks. My name's been Phil Johnson. It's been nice to have you out here.
Phil Johnson. Listen, guys, if you've enjoyed what you've seen tonight, we have one more comic for you, but if you've enjoyed this, most of these people can be seen every Wednesday at Chili Line Brewery at 8 p.m., Wayward Comedy Open Mic. If you've ever thought about getting up in front of a room full of people and making them laugh, that's a great place to try to do it, because they're actually nicer than those places that let you do that. And, it'll be nice to you too. We got one more comic for you. Also, we also have a comedy showcase May 6th that I'll be on, and I think a couple of the other people that were up tonight will also be on. So May 6th at Tumbleroot. Just check us out, Wayward Comedy, Facebook, YouTube, all those things. Coming up, your last comic of the night was your host for most of the night. She wrote everything that you watched us ask those people earlier today. She's the brainchild. She's the brain parent of this brainchild. Give it up for the wonderful Ms. Meg Speckscore.
Thanks for sitting through this, guys. We appreciate you. We appreciate it a lot. Happy Easter, almost. It's Easter weekend. Yeah? Oh, booze! Fierce booze! Why the booze? Okay. Yeah, I mean, I gotta admit, like, Easter is not usually my favorite either. I don't like going to church on Easter because I hate spoilers. You walk in and they're like, Jesus is risen, and I'm like, stop, I haven't finished the book yet. I don't know how it ends. I'm a queer woman. I'm a gay woman, and woo, woo, woo. And God hates us, but Easter loves us. This might redeem it for you. Because Easter is really the gayest holiday, because besides being about killing God, it's mostly just about wearing pastels and having a nice brunch. Yeah. But Easter, so even though I don't totally love it, I still understand it, right? I still understand it as a woman, because wine is sacred, I get it. Giving away your eggs is good, and we're really used to having to wait forever for a man's second coming. And Easter, just like all good American holidays, is really about home invasion. Normalizing home invasion. There's Santa Claus that comes up your chimney, there's leprechauns that break into your house and fuck shit up, and there's Easter bunnies that break into your house and leave little eggs. And all of it is really about like a creepy being sneaking into your house in the middle of the night and doing things while you sleep. But if you say that there's a monster in your closet when you're 8, people are like, this kid's fucked up, where does he get it? Okay. Anyone here into like Victorian period dramas? Yeah? Yes. Sweet, which ones?
I like all of the old stuff.
All of it.
Give me a old period thing.
Sweet.
I'll watch it for like 6 months straight. Over and over
Yeah.
again.
Dedication. I was never into it, but someone told me that I really, really had to watch Gilded Age. So I watched the first 2 episodes and I hated it. And then I watched it on my period. And I think this is really why it's called period drama, because you can only appreciate it when you're menstruating. Because for the first 2 times I watched it, I was like, I don't give a fuck that Mrs. Russell is not invited to the ball. That's the whole drama for an hour. And then when I watched it on my period, I was scarfing chocolate-colored almonds like a squirrel, and I was like, these fucking petty bitches. Okay, I got one more for you. Thanks for being such a good crowd tonight. So I have a neighbor named Cindy. She's probably in her 50s. And the first time I ever had a cup of tea with her, she totally dunked on me. She was like, I'm sure you've noticed, Meg, but once a week, this much younger man comes to my house and fucks me. And I was like, I'm sure you've noticed, Cindy, but every other day I lure the neighbor's house cat into my house with a slice of deli ham, and we snuggle for 10 minutes. So we're both getting what we need here. But I did have someone stay overnight a couple nights ago for the first time in a really long time. And he's gonna leave in the morning, and he was like, are we done here? And I was like, yeah, we're done here. He's like, do you know anything else happening? I'm like, no, go. He's like, I'm gonna go. I was like, okay, you go. And then he got to the door, and I was like, wait, stop. Before you leave, go knock on Cindy's door and tell her I fucked you. Thanks so much for coming out tonight, guys. I really appreciate being here on a Thursday. We're going to try to keep doing this on different holidays. And so, yeah, keep watch out for that. We have Wayward Comedy, YouTube, Facebook, website. Look us up there. Do what? waywardcomedy.com. Thank you. Yeah, take some jelly bean eggs before you leave. If you get the blue ones,
Take some of the ones with the weird stuff in them.
Yeah, the blue ones are filled with random shit I had lying around my apartment. Thanks, guys. Have a good night.